Hello, and welcome to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I am so glad you are here with me. My name is Carrie Dahle, and I am your host. I am an entrepreneur, author, podcaster, manifester, and motivator. And I am on a mission to empower you to create the life of your dreams. If you are looking to up-level your life, relationships, finances, productivity, and success, you have come to the right place. I will share with you tools, resources, strategies, my failures, and my successes that have all helped me achieve the life of my dreams. It is my goal with this podcast to help you see your potential and empower you to create the life of your dreams. So let's get to it. Welcome back to the Thrive Mindset Podcast. I'm Carrie Dahle, your host. Today, we are going to be talking about macros and nutrition and all the things that help your body thrive. My guest is Sherry Lewis. She is an integrative nutritional health coach and my health coach, and I'm super excited about the experience I'm starting and the journey I'm starting with her, but I can't wait to share her with the rest of you. Welcome, Sherry.
Thank you. Thank you for the nice introduction.
I'm just so glad you're here. I think the first thing we should start with is your story, because I think it will resonate with a lot of people. I know it did with me. It's very close to home for me. So
for me, I started with being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease back in 2003. And I was on some pretty heavy duty medications like chemotherapy type drugs that were basically making me more sick than my autoimmune disease. I did that for about 10 years. And then my daughter was in a nutrition class for college, and she read the book, Eat to Live by Joel Fuhrman. And she said, "Mom, you have an autoimmune disease, right?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "I think you should read this book. It talks about how food can heal." And I thought, okay, great, let's try. So I read the book on the way to an event in Napa. And it was so inspiring that I went plant-based that day. And I'm not saying plant-based works for everybody, but for somebody with an autoimmune disease, it's a great place to start if you want to see if you can, like for me, I just wanted to get off my med. So I thought I'm going to give it 3 months, because you really should give anything 3 months to try it, to, create new habits, that kind of thing. But it wasn't hard for me because I wasn't a big meat eater anyway. And dairy, I don't know, I could take or leave it. But then what I discovered through the process is I really don't tolerate dairy well. And in 2 weeks, the symptoms that I had as far as the rash, because that's how my autoimmune disease was. It wasn't internal, it was external. So rashes and itching. Well, I guess internal as far as itching from the inside out. Like you've never itched before in your entire life inside your throat. And I mean, it's just inside. You can't reach that itch. You can't scratch it. So within 2 weeks, severe rashes that I had on my elbows disappeared. And I thought, that's weird. And so I thought, I must be in remission. It can't be the food. And then I thought, no, you need to change your mindset, which that's what kind of we all need to do. You have to think positive and look where you want to go. So pretty soon it was a month. And then pretty soon it was 2 months. And I'm like, this is amazing. I feel great. I have no symptoms, and I still knock on wood because it's just too good to be true that food can heal, and food does heal. And so when I told my rheumatologist what I was going to do in the beginning, he just kind of rolled his eyes at me and said, "Yeah, good luck with that." And I thought, okay, well, and I get that by the time people get to your rheumatologist, you already are full blown. You have symptoms. They're just trying to make you feel better. Nobody mentioned to me that changing my diet might help. And so within 3 months, I was off all my medications, and it's been now over 9 years, and I feel great. But that's the beginning of my story. And then COVID hits. I gained 10 pounds. And also right before that, going through menopause and reading all this literature about the older we get, the more belly fat we're going to have, your metabolism slows down. And I thought, my metabolism is already shot. I mean, how could it get any slower? What am I going to eat as I get older? I was eating about between 900 and 1,000 calories a day, and not able to lose that 10 pounds that I gained, which is ridiculous. You'd think, that I'd be able to do it. I would try everything. I've dieted since 8th grade. So I would try juicing for a week, lose 10 pounds, gain 15. Because your poor little body is just starving itself and it doesn't know, what to keep. I just kept thinking, I need to do something. I don't know what that is. Talked to a coworker who I noticed her body was changing. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Oh my gosh, I started eating by way of macros." And I'm like, "What is that?" And so I researched macro eating, joined a macro program, and in just a very short time, was so excited, felt even better than I felt before as a plant-based person, because I realized, and they taught me, that I was fueling my body incorrectly. I wasn't eating enough protein. And even though, if you Google how much protein to eat, it was fine, but definitely on the lower end. And once I started fueling my body correctly, everything changed. I went from eating 980 calories a day at the top of my reverse, which we can talk about more. I was at 2,200 calories. Now, at that point, I thought, no, I can't sustain this. I cannot. This is too much food for me. I feel like I'm force eating. That's when we knew that my metabolism was at its peak. I had gained, and when I say gained, it's definitely not pounds, but the scale spiked and it wasn't coming down like 2 pounds. And that's when we knew, okay, you're at your peak. Your metabolism it's not going to get any higher than this. Let's put you into a cut and see if we can lose that. At this point, I only then needed to lose 6 pounds because I had lost 6, gained a couple, went into my cut, and actually couldn't even make it to the bottom of my cut because I lost it so fast. So for me, and honestly, I'm 60 years old, and they say your metabolism slows down. I was losing weight like when I was fasting, or you know what I mean? It was coming on, and it was incredible. And I knew even well before that, even during my adding calories, that I wanted to be a macro coach. I thought, if I can feel this good, I thought I felt good. I had no idea that I could feel that good, like off the chart energy, mental clarity. I mean, it was something that I wanted to share with everyone. And so I found out where my coaches got their training. I got certified as a macronutrition coach. And then I wanted more than that. Then I found the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, which is out of New York. And I decided to do the year program, but do the accelerated version and do it in 6 months. That's what really resonated with me, because it was studious, and we were doing homework, and we were, not that I wasn't doing homework, but this was way different. This was working on myself. Not that you think, or I thought, I'm good. I feel good. I feel healthy. I'm working out. And then I realized, wow, it's not just about going to the gym. It's not about eating the right foods. It's about recognizing when you have stress and how do you deal with stress? And oh my gosh, I'm not sleeping. How do I deal with that? And when all these things come together and you feel great, that's when everything else comes into alignment. And for me, I love eating by way of macros. I know everybody doesn't like to track. I get it. I am one of those people. I come from a family of obesity. If I don't track, I can gain weight in a heartbeat. And so for me, it makes me have control of my food. And I know that I'll be able to fit in my clothes tomorrow, because that's important to me.
But I know nobody can see you. I mean, she said she was 60 years old, but she looks like she's in her 40s, and she is beautiful. And I want to say thin, but thin is not the right word. She's just incredibly in good shape. Like, she's lean. It's amazing to hear that, because I know so many women out there are like you and I, right? We learn as little girls that you starve yourself, that you throw up, that you eat, very little, you just drink juice, you do the things, right, to get rid of it, and it's gone. And then it comes, as you get older, it comes right back, and you don't learn to have this good relationship with food, which is so unfortunate. And then, as you and I have been talking lately, how hard it is to get over that mindset. For all of you that don't know, Sherry's got me eating a lot more food, and and I'm constantly like, really, really,
right.
But it is this mindset, and I love it. It's beautiful, and
and we need to fuel our body. I just had no idea I could eat that much food, and it opens up so many more avenues, because I'm a foodie and I love to be creative. And oh my gosh, I can cook anything I want. And I convert everything to, make it vegan, but my husband's not vegan. And so I will eat in the wintertime, I'll do a spaghetti bolognese for him, but I'll do the sauce until it's time to add his stuff to it, and then separate it out. I meal prep all the time, because it just sets you up for success. But knowing that you can eat that many calories and not gain weight and have dessert. And I wouldn't recommend eating processed foods. I don't think that it's going to help anybody by eating processed foods. Now, if you can fit it into your macro plan and that's how you want to fuel your body, I guess you can, but you're going to feel a whole lot better if you're eating whole foods. If you want a candy bar, like I post recipes to my group all the time, but how to make a healthy Snickers bar that will get that craving and make it go away, but you're still having dessert. I make smoothies. I make blizzards, healthy blizzards, because they have protein in them. And it's just amazing how good you can feel and how much energy you can feel. But like you said, you have to get your mind set right. You have to get your mind off the scale only. I will go back and I will get my pictures to show you the difference in my backside, which I don't share with many people. When I started the program, and it was only, I want to say, a 3-pound difference. And it was such a huge transformation. At that point, my clothes were falling off and I could get my skinny clothes back out, right? And put those on. I'm like, wow, these are even baggy. What the heck? And so it's just the way when you start eating more protein, and it takes, 25% more fuel to burn that than it does to burn other macros, which are basically your proteins, fats, and carbs. You start leaning out, you start burning that fat. And then if you can throw in, you don't have to exercise, but like I tell everybody, within a few weeks, you have so much energy, you don't know what to do with it. You're going to want to exercise. You're going to want to get out in nature or take the dog for a walk, or just, you have to put that energy somewhere. And creating new habits by doing things that are going to get you a little active, fantastic. And you're even going to burn more calories because now you're active on top of it.
So let's talk about how, because, I'm not vegan, but I'm pescatarian. And I think a lot of other people are all over the scale, right, with how much meat they eat. And it can be super intimidating to think about adding all this protein. And how the heck do you get all this protein, right? How do you do that when you're not eating a steak?
Well, fish is great. Like you said, I get a lot of my protein from soy. So I love crunchy edamame that I found on Amazon, but it's like they have sea salt, they have buffalo, and they have 11 grams of protein in this little tiny packet. So like we were traveling yesterday, I threw a no-cow protein bar in my purse and one of those just in case we were stuck somewhere, which thank God I did, because there was a horrible accident coming home and we were stuck in traffic. Thank God I packed. So I try not to do too much processed protein, like in a protein shake. But for me, I love my protein shakes that I make so much that I eat one every day, whether it's I make a tiramisu type coffee shake in the morning, or I'll do a strawberry cheesecake one in the evening, one or the other. I don't do both unless I do like half of one in the morning. Tempeh for me is huge. Vital wheat gluten is great for people who can tolerate gluten. I can do a little bit, but not much. Beans, lentils. Lentils are huge and they're amazing. Quinoa. Every veggie you eat has protein in it. So really,
it's funny though, how people don't think that vegetables have protein. They don't really think about it.
No. And there's much. I have a recipe for cheesy zoodles that's made with zucchini, nutritional yeast, onions, peppers, some like red chili flakes, some different things like that. And it has more protein. Like I don't have to add additional protein to it for my meal. That is my protein. And if I wanted to add like some grilled tofu or something to it, I have so much protein, I don't even know what to do with myself just for one meal. And that's all veggie. And the nutritional yeast, which has protein. You get it from chia seeds, flax seeds. There's so many things. When people ask me, well, I don't know how to get a little bit of extra. Oh my gosh, Greek yogurt. If you eat dairy, Greek yogurt is huge. Oh my goodness. You can do so much with Greek yogurt. And if you make overnight oats for breakfast and you do Greek yogurt, and they have vegan yogurt, it just doesn't have the same protein. It's really kind of wimpy. I wish that they had one that was just really loaded, but I found ways around that too. But if you eat dairy, then you can do that. Throw some chia seeds in there and you have a fantastic meal. There's just proteins everywhere. I mean, people just have to realize that it's in pretty much everything we eat, except for like, processed foods, sodas, things like that.
Yeah, but I think this is why you need somebody in your life who knows this information in order to move forward with it. Because I could have looked this all up and tried to figure it out, and it would have been this guessing game. And then I'd get even more frustrated, right? It'd just be this thing. Whereas you provide those tools and that information, which is super helpful. And I appreciate that. But let's go back to, you talked about reverse dieting, I guess is what you call it. Is that what you call it? Yeah.
I do. So when you start the program, I have you track your food for a week, and so we can see what your baseline is. And because you definitely wouldn't want to bump somebody up in protein too fast, because it can cause digestive issues. So, really the goal for everybody, and it's a modest goal, is 1 gram of protein per ideal body weight. So if somebody who doesn't want to do a macro plan, at least you'd know about how much protein to get, and that's minimum. And you wouldn't want to go too crazy much over that. Maybe up to 20% more would be probably okay, based on, I've talked to some healthcare professionals who said that that's what they would recommend. And I said, wow, that's okay, let's do it. And I've done it personally myself. I have gone up to 132 grams a day, and it's a lot for my body to process. So crazy. So in the revert, once I get that and we get your starting point, we start adding calories and changing your macros every week, as long as you're hitting your goals. Because if you're not hitting your goals, I don't really have anything to measure your progress by. So I'm measuring by not only the scale, but I'm measuring by how your pictures and how your body starts to transform, and then your measurements. So there's all those 3 things that I want to look at. And the goal during the reverse is to reboot your metabolism, give you more food, and not gain weight. Most people do lose weight during this process. But if you don't, it's not that you're not doing it correctly. It's that we're doing it exactly like we should. You're not gaining weight. We're increasing calories. And during this time, that's when you're going to see increased energy, mental clarity, and your hormone balance. And so once we get you to the top of this reverse, and everybody's different, if you're active, and because I'm active, I think that's why I got up to 2,200 calories, you're going to go a lot higher. If you're not, then you're going to peak out a lot sooner. But the higher you can get, the better success you'll have coming down in that cut. And then we start taking calories away, and they come away a lot faster than I give them to you, because you want to go really slow when you're adding calories to your diet. It's just like you and I talked, you juice for a week and lose 10 pounds and then gain it back, because nobody tells you how to refeed. Mm-hmm. You don't know what to do. And your body is just so hungry. And if you're under fueling, your body's holding on to all those calories because it's in starvation mode. And so anyway, we get you into your cut, and we take you through the process down to whatever your body can tolerate. And some people, if they have a lot to lose, will have to go up and down. So we'll take you through the cut until you're just like, okay, I'm done. I need more food. I'm hungry. And so then we slowly reverse you out of that cut again, because we don't want you to lose any progress that you've made, get you back up, and then do the cut again until we get you to your goal. And then we do maintenance. And then during maintenance, we try to start getting you away from, if you want to. Personally, I think I'll probably track my food forever. I've just done it for so long. It's my norm. Get you away from tracking food and weighing your food, because you have to weigh everything and measure everything. And that can be tedious, especially for people who are super busy. And we're all busy. I mean, I did this while I was working full-time, going to school full-time. And if it's a priority and your health is important to you, you'll do it. It's just like anything else, going to the gym or whatever. You make time for you, and then you start seeing the benefits, and it's 100% worth it. 100%. So then once you're at maintenance, then you know now how to fuel your body. And whether you track or not, that's up to you. But we have, we'll have tools of how to get to that point and how to measure your foods. I post a lot to my groups too about, test yourself. Say, okay, I'm going to have 4 ounces or 150 grams of whatever. Like, I do a lot of soy curls. I absolutely love them. I'm so glad I tolerate soy, because I do a lot of different types of soy. Usually they're a serving for me when I make, like right now I'm doing broccoli beef. My serving size is about 208 grams. Instead of weighing it, first eyeball it, put it into a cup or put it into your hand and put it in there, and then weigh it and see how close you are. And then you'll start being able to recognize what a serving size is for you for protein. Mm-hmm. I mean, and always start with protein. I start with protein and then build around it. If you know you're going out to dinner, now, like I use 2 apps, MyFitnessPal and the Trainer Eyes app. And MyFitnessPal has a lot of information in there, and you can find, your standard run of the mill places like Chipotle and Applebee's and those kind of things. But when you go out to dinner to a more fancy restaurant, Scott and I love Bamboo. And Bamboo doesn't have their nutritional values online. I can't, you can't. But I also know how to deconstruct something that's on a menu. I look at it and I'm like, okay, the one thing that I love is their spicy green bean with tofu, and it's with peanut sauce. And so for me, I know they're going to cook it in oil, and I just ask them not to do that. So when I break it down, I either look for a recipe that's very similar online, and then I'll upload it into my app and tweak it, knowing that I'm not going to have the oil take that out of the recipe, and make it as close as I can to what I know they're going to serve me. And then I can track it that way. But if you wait until the very end of your day and then you try to make up for what's left over in your macros, it's pretty much impossible. It is so difficult if you only have, say, 50% of your protein left to eat at the end of the day and you haven't pre-tracked your day, how are you going to eat all that? That's a lot of protein. And if you're already eating all your fats and you have very few carbs, I would love to hear somebody say how they could do that, because I think it's impossible. Because you have to break it up so that you have protein with every meal. And I love to have a glass of wine now and then. And you track wine and alcohol different than you do things, because your body processes it like fat. So and then I would teach you how to upload that into your app. And, I met somebody the other day and we met at a winery, and I pre-tracked that first. I knew I was going to have a glass of wine. And so I put that in there, and then I worked my day around it. And it's great because you feel like, I don't have to really restrict. I can still have, a healthy dessert. And growing up, dieting my whole life, I just always thought you had to eat like diet. I didn't think of diet as a way of eating, like a diet, like a vegan diet or a vegetarian diet or a pescatarian diet or a keto diet. I just thought it meant eating food that tastes horrible so I could fit into an outfit that I wanted to wear somewhere. Right. And then the minute that I was finished reaching that goal, I was like, oh, thank God I can go back to eating the way I want to. No, you can't. I mean, it's lifestyle. It's longevity. I mean, I so appreciate that you said I look younger than my age. Thank you, Mom, for good genes. Love that. But I want to keep up with my kids, and they're in their 30s, and we all love to ski. We love to hike. We love, there's so many things we love to do. And growing up in a family that wasn't as active as I want to be, I just want to be around for a long time. And I want to be my healthiest version of myself to be around. I don't want to sit on the couch and watch game shows. I want to get out there. I want to be active. I want to help people feel as good from the inside out. And I think when we do that too, and then we surround ourselves with like-minded people, I mean, how can you not thrive in that environment? It's contagious. I have to sometimes hold back because I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm preaching to everybody. But when somebody opens the door for me, oh geez, I just like vomit all this stuff out because it's just awesome. It's awesome. And it, like I said, it might not be for everybody, but even if you just learn how to fuel your body correctly, you'll just feel better, even if that's all you wanted to do.
Well, and I think you are like amazing at backing the recipe thing up. But I will say, even like this past week, eating out, the one night we went out and then being at the lake with our family. And, lake days is usually like beer and, all the things, right? But it was still very empowering, even though I knew it wasn't going to be perfect. Like when we ate out to dinner, I knew that my trying to back my way into it wasn't going to be perfect. Like there was no way I could account for the fact that I'm sure they put butter all over my vegetables. There was just things that I'm like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like I just have to do the best I can, but still to see overall, I did great. Like I stayed on track. I didn't gain any weight, just the things, it felt very good. So I think that people shouldn't be overwhelmed by being perfect about it. Right. I mean, I'm sure the more perfect you are about it, the more you can be at home and manage it at home. That's great. But my life doesn't allow me to be home all the time. And it's just what it is. But I think there's ways to do it. So
there are.
Yeah. And then the other thing is the amount of water.
I know. It's so much water. So go ahead. Tell them, how much water do we drink?
A gallon. Yeah. So my whole adult life, I have been told, you need to be drinking half your weight in ounces. Right. So, and that it sometimes has been a challenge. I'm like, okay, did I hit it? Did I hit it? Am I drinking enough? And then Sherry says to me, Carrie, you have to drink a gallon. I'm like, what? So why a gallon? Why so much water?
Well, water is just, first of all, it helps keep you full, but it helps with your skin. I don't know if you've noticed any difference at all. I mean, obviously, we're going to be going to the bathroom a lot more, but your body
all the time.
Yeah. Eventually, your body adjusts somewhat to it, but it's so good for overall health, keeping you flushed out, keeping the toxins out. I always thought the same as you. I thought eight glasses of water a day, which was really tough for me before. And now once I started drinking a gallon, my body starts craving water, just like it's craving protein. Mm-hmm. And it helps me stay full. It helps me stay focused. It helps my skin look better, which great. Maybe that's why I look younger than I am. I don't, because I drink a lot of water and I've been doing that for a long time.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's good for you. And I will say that the more I've been drinking, the more I do want it. So that's interesting. But the thing that like also messes with my head, right, is the fact that, yeah, I am more full, but then you're telling me to eat more.
I know. Wait till you get up there even higher. And geez. Also know that when the scale, when you say I gained a pound or, I'm not saying you told me that yet, no. But that's going to happen. And it's not really weight, right? It can be so many factors because unless you're eating 3,500 calories more than your average, it's not weight. It's something else. It's, did you drink the night before? Is your body holding on to water? Is it inflammation? Did you not sleep well? Are you stressed out? It's so many different things. Going on vacation and eating mindfully and then coming back and seeing a scale spike of 6 pounds about freaked me out because I'm like, wow, I joined this to lose 10 and now I've got a scale spike of 6 pounds. What the heck? But I knew for me, there's no way that's weight. I didn't eat that much food. And with getting right back into eating macros and drinking all my water, because it's hard to drink all your water on vacation, especially when you don't know where the bathrooms are to stop. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You just don't drink as much. It was gone in 3 days. It was gone. So that's not weight. So, but for me, everything's always been attached to that scale. I would freak out. My coach would say, Sherry, trust the process. Trust the process. And I think, okay, but I don't think I can eat more than this. And then we'd get to 1,600 calories. And I'm like, oh my God, and I was freaking out. And she'd have to talk me off the ledge. Just trust the process. Look at your pictures. How do you feel in your clothes? And she was right. And I'm not saying it'll work for everybody, but if you are consistent and hit your numbers, it does. It does. And the more consistent you are, the faster you're going to see progress. And even if you're not at home and you can't cook your food, which again, I was working full time, I would cook on the weekends and for about 4 days at a time. And that way I knew I could pack what I wanted. And I always have my cooler with my ice packs in there so that I know. One of the tricks I learned is to make 2 smoothies at a time, put one in the freezer. So then I can use that as ice. And then by the time I'm ready to drink it, it's ready. Mm. And it's keeping everything else cold at the same time. Making excuses, it's just an excuse. You're just, it's just going to take you longer. And why make excuses? Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do it. We can do hard things. Mm-hmm. We can. It's just a mindset. It's taking the time to do it. I mean, there are many, many healthy options out there for like HelloFresh comes to mind, mm-hmm. where if somebody doesn't have time to shop, that they can have things sent to them so they know right away, okay, this is what I'm making tonight for dinner. And oh my gosh, it's a stir fry. I could even, expand on it and add some broccoli to it, add some whatever, make it last even longer. And then if you put it in your individual containers, tomorrow what you're going to have. I mean, there's just so many ways to do it and make it work. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Yeah. I would say my biggest struggle is just how social I am. And typically the going out and then you end up at somebody's house and they're like, oh, have the glass of wine and oh, let's go to dinner and let's do that. And I found myself this past week being like, you know what, why don't you come to my house? I'm going to make this tonight. Sure, we can have a glass of wine. But then even then I'm like, but that was controlling on my part. Like I knew it could be red wine, like the things I'm like, okay, I can do that. Well, yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I just feel mentally, maybe I'm silly that way, but I feel like red, there's just something better about it for you. And I enjoy it myself. So But it was just funny because I was like, okay, well, but I can make this and that will work with this.
Yeah. So what I do, like and you have to let yourself have, there are going to be times when you're just going to have a day that's you just run amok. And the thing is, as we're building you up with your protein and we're rebooting your metabolism, your body's going to know what to keep and what to get rid of, what to process and burn, as long as you don't do that every day. But I'm very type A, and I would tend to really stick to it. But I did notice in the summertime last summer, that it took me a lot longer to get through, like to get my next goal, because I just couldn't quite hit my numbers because we were camping a lot and I have just a few too many. For me, it was carbs. But then when I saw that I had a couple pounds, 3 pounds, whatever, like my mom said, 5 pounds turns into 10, which turns into 20 real quick. I realized, and it wasn't coming back off, that I needed to dial it back. And I did. And then my body just came right back into alignment. And before, where I would starve myself and then binge, that doesn't really happen anymore, because the cravings go away when you fuel your body the right way. And so when you do run amok one day, get back on track. It's not, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, you might not get a new goal next week because you kind of threw everything out, but it's not the end of the world. And it just because you ate something that wasn't on your plan or got off your macros, doesn't mean you just blew it for the rest of your life. It's just one day. It's life. That's how we create new habits. Like before, I would just say, oh, screw it, I'm just going to eat tomorrow too, because what's one more day? If I blew it for 2 days and then it's 3 days, and it's like, I might as well just give up.
And then you get to Monday again, right?
Right. Yeah. And then, right. Oh, I'll start on Monday. Yeah. Or I'll start January 1st. No, just do it now. I mean, feeling this good is just better than anything. It's endorphins. It's dopamine at its best. It's freaking awesome. Awesome. And I do, like you, I want to have wine, but I do change my habits sometimes. And when we meet with friends I have so many supportive friends that'll say, and they know they're not vegan. I don't think I have any vegan friends that are just like, except my daughter's vegan. And so we can really choose our restaurants and it's fun. They will actually say, I'll make it for you. I would love to try a recipe, and I would love to, because it's not going to hurt you to not eat meat one day, right? Just try it. See what you can come up with. I mean, I make some freaking amazing food. Amazing. And so Scott used to say, wow, this is good for vegan. Now he never says that. It's just good food. That's all. And so I will, if I'm going to my family's, which I know they're meat and potato kind of people, and that's great, I just bring my own. I pack my own food all the time. It's embarrassing to say, but when we go out to restaurants, if I don't know the menu and I look online and I think, wow, they do not have any protein for me. They might have salads, and that's a little protein, but not enough for what I need. I always have soy curls made in my fridge, and I will weigh it out, put it in a baggie, stick it in my purse. And when I get my salad, and I love Kaleidoscope, I love their food. I don't have enough protein options there. I put my soy curls on my salad and I'm rock solid. It's fantastic. So I just plan ahead. So I don't mind packing my food, but I've noticed in the beginning too, I still don't I love to go out to dinner. It's just painful. It's hard to hit your macros. Yesterday when we were out, I pre-tracked knowing we were going to go to one restaurant because we were traveling, and then Monkey Wrench, and we ended up not going there and we went somewhere else. I was like, okay, just take a deep breath. It's not that big of a deal. Just see what the menu looks like. See if they didn't have anything online that met. So I had to be creative. Like I said, it worked out fine. It was perfectly fine. And it ended up being one of the best Buddha bowls I'd ever had. It was amazing. And it was at a brewery. So you can do that. You can. And then since we were traveling, we didn't really drink, but you can put that in your macros too.
Yeah. So if people want to learn more or want to figure out how to do this with you, where do they find you? What do they do?
Yeah, consults are free. We can just chat because, and I recommend to most people to download my Fitness Pal and play with it. See how you feel about tracking your food. If you've never tracked your food before, it might seem just completely overwhelming, but I've had people say, yeah, I don't know. And then they get to do it and they go, it's kind of fun. It's like Tetris. you just have to figure it out. I think try that. Go to my website. It's macrofuel.com. And there's a connect with me, and you can fill out a form that says, hey, I'd love to chat. And we schedule a Zoom like this, and we chat about the program and see if it's something that would work for you. And it's a customized plan based on how you eat, because, some people are low carb. And so I'm going to customize it that way. But everybody's going to get lots of protein. I'll tell you that. And everybody gets to drink a gallon of water.
Oh yeah. Lots of water, lots of bathroom time. Yeah.
Right. And really, you can count decaf tea as water. Anything that is, just without caffeine, that's not non-diuretic. So I like, and it's horrible because one of my guilty pleasures, I love diet root beer, and I know it's not good for me. I know aspartame is horrible, but after I drink all my water, that I will have that. And my go-to drink when we're camping is diet ginger ale or diet fresca, fresh lime, and vodka. And then if you want to
that sounds like a Moscow Mule changed up. Mm-hmm.
It is. And you can also you can mojito it a little bit with some fresh mint. And so, and with those calories, I'd rather drink those kind of calories than have something that's real full of fruit juice and that kind of thing. I don't like to drink my calories. I want to eat them.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. But honestly, just connect with me through the website. I'm also on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's everywhere, and she can be anywhere. It's not just here in our area. So
isn't that I love that. That's the one good thing about COVID, right? We all learned how to work remotely, and being able to quit my job of 20 years as the practice manager of the rheumatology clinic, and come here and be my own boss. Oh, it's awesome.
Amazing.
It is amazing. That. It is.
Is there anything else that we haven't chatted about that you think is important to share?
I think you and I pretty much talked about everything. Knowing that eating a healthy diet is the most important. And if you have a coach on your side to help you do it, even better, because it is stressful. There's so much information out there for people to research on your own. It's overwhelming. And if you can, and I'm a straight shooter. If you want a diet that's going to make you, that's a fad, a juicing diet that you want to lose 15 pounds that first week, this is not for you. This is longevity. This is going to take some time. You're going to create new habits. It's something you can do for the rest of your life. But if you're trying to fit into a dress for a wedding and you need to lose 10 pounds in a month, nope. Maybe. I had one client that did that. They had quite a bit to lose, and he lost 10 pounds in a month.
Yeah. Well, if you have a lot to lose, it's a different situation, right?
It is. Yeah. And so, but I will say that you will feel better. And man, I don't know if you're pretty new in the process, so I'm not sure where your energy level is yet, but I think too, getting your mind wrapped around that it's not all the scale. Once you let go of that, then you're going, I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited because you are me a year ago.
Yeah. I am too. And it is definitely, it is a mindset, but that's what this is all about, right? It's all about creating good habits and bettering your life and thriving in life. That's the whole point is to be stagnant is silly, and to not be our best selves and enjoy life. I think that's what I love about you. You are so passionate and so excited because you found something you love. You found something that you can share with the world. And I just think it's amazing. And I'm so glad to have connected with you that way.
Me too.
And I think you're something to share. And I hope that people reach out to you because,
I do too. If I can just help, a handful of people feel and be their best selves, they're going to pay it forward. They're going to, reach out to their family and friends, and whether they do it with me or somebody else, it doesn't matter. But if we can be healthier, and what a better place to live, right? Yeah, man.
Perfect.
Love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. I so appreciate you being here today. And I just know that everybody's going to love hearing all this.
Great. Thank you.
I hope you all enjoyed my chat with Sherry. She's pretty amazing. She is excited. She loves what she's doing. And that is what makes her an amazing coach. And if you are looking for someone to help you get on track with your health, I think there's no better person. I'm excited to see the changes that will happen with me. I'm excited to just be on a journey to eat well and get my mind wrapped around food in a healthy way. And I think so many of us need to do that. And above all else, remember that I believe in you and you can manifest the life of your dreams.